This is a totally regular fish. Just kidding, it can literally walk on land. Yeah, I just figured out that there's this species of fish that has evolved over millions of years to be able to survive out of the water. It's called a mudskipper, and I want to keep it as a pet. So I did what any normal person would do, and I drove to PetSmart so I could buy it. Hi, do you guys sell mudskippers?
A mudskipper? Yeah, we don't sell those.
Okay, turns out PetSmart just has goldfish and these things.
What even is that?
So yeah, they don't have mudskippers.
And it turns out the only way I could get one of these things is by going to this sketchy website and getting one for only $24. Why is it so cheap? This has got to be a scam. Is this thing even gonna be able to walk? I don't even have a choice. Let me just buy this thing. Okay, well, it's bought. It's gonna be here in 7 days, so I guess I just gotta wait for then.
With 1 week until the walking fish got delivered, I needed to create a home for it with both a section for water and land.
So to do that, I just went out and bought, 1 second. This. It's a 40-gallon terrarium, and I'm gonna fill it up with this. I'm just kidding, there's more. A lot more.
So yeah, basically a lot of stuff, because I want to make this be a dream home for my mudskipper that will have tons of awesome stuff, including a literal parkour course to figure out if the $24 mudskipper will actually be able to jump out of the water.
Alright, anyways, to build this tank, we can pretty much get rid of all of this stuff. And that's because all we need right now are these. Although it may not look like it, inside of each of these packages is rocks. Just for some reason, they've all been individually wrapped. I don't know who did that, but I guess I gotta unwrap all these now.
20 minutes later.
Alright, there we go. Basically, I'm gonna use these rocks to lay out the foundation of the enclosure to separate the land and water areas.
So I laid some of the rocks out, but then I eventually ran into a problem.
Okay, I've just run out of small rocks while building, and the only rocks I have left are way too big. So you know what time it is. There we go.
So I continued building up the height of the rocks like this, because I'm planning on building a waterfall here with a working water flow, so the walking fish will be able to play around in it.
Now to fill in the gaps, I've got to use this spray foam to, you know, spray it. Now this is where the build gets fun, because now I get to use this little pump to make the waterfall actually work. Now to be honest, I don't really know how I'm gonna do this, but I need to somehow send water from this pump up the rock, so then it can somehow flow back down into the water area. Okay, so I guess I'll just try and use this tube that the pump came with, and try and send it up over the rocks like that. Well, I guess let me go get some water and fill this thing up so I can see if the waterfall actually works. Alright, moment of truth, let me plug this in. And it's plugged in, and wait, is it working? Kind of. Okay, this is more of just like a sewage pipe than a waterfall, but oh god, why is the water turning brown? What is going?
Since it wasn't working very well, I decided to get some more water and add that in to see if it would help.
Okay, with more water, the water pressure of the waterfall goes up a lot. Bro, what is this? Can you stop going? How is it? Okay, oh shoot, oh nah. Bro, it is spraying all around my room. Turn it off. Turn them off.
Though thankfully I found this dial on the pump that let me turn down the water pressure, and then the waterfall was actually working pretty well.
Alright, there we go.
To finish it off, I glued some rocks on the top to hide the pump, and I also drained out the sewage water because, yeah, we don't really want that. The waterfall was now complete, but this is only just the start. I have some crazy things planned for the walking fish, like building a literal parkour course for it to play on. Yeah, I am not kidding. But first, I need to finish the foundations of this enclosure, which means I need to make it look like a beautiful lake. To do that, I got a bunch of different stuff like wood, which I glued onto the rocks.
Now I've got to add the substrate. So for the land area, I'm using these black balls, which I'll put behind the rocks and sloping down the waterfall.
Finally, I put a layer of dirt on top to make it look more natural.
Now for the water area, I'm gonna keep it simple by just adding in some sand, you know. Alright, the substrate's finished now, but if I'm not gonna lie, this kinda looks really bad. But the only reason this looks really bad right now is because the final step to making a beautiful lake is to add in plants. And unfortunately for me, I can't really just grab plants from outside. Okay, I don't know why I even grabbed that. Let me just put it back.
Instead, I have to drive to PetSmart again and buy the very, very overpriced aquatic plants there.
Holy moly guacamole. $10.99 for this tiny leaf. Why are these so expensive? This one is literally the same size as my finger. $10.99. That is so expensive.
Despite those plants being an absolute scam, I still bought them, and yeah, I have plants now. So I spent a little while using my artistic skills to put the plants around the terrarium, and it ended up looking like this, which, you know, this looks pretty good.
All right, now that that's done, it's time to add the water in again. And this time I'm gonna be a little more careful to make sure it doesn't turn into sewage water.
Also, I figured I should mention this, but I'm using a water that has a very small amount of salt mixed into it, because that's how mudskippers live in the wild. So if any of the freshwater plants die, it's not my fault.
Oh my god, look at this. This is literally like a paradise. There's a working waterfall, there's plants, okay, I mean, that's just normal, I guess, but, you know, it's still pretty good. And look, this is the best part. I even got a light on it that when I press this button, it will turn it to nighttime. And by nighttime, I mean it just changes the light to blue, but, I mean, you still gotta admit that's pretty cool.
The base of the enclosure was now finished, but there were still 4 days until the mudskipper walking fish arrived at my door. So to make this enclosure even better before he gets here, I'm gonna add a bunch of tiny fish inside. But before adding in the fish, I quickly poured some healthy bacteria into the water in order to let it cycle and make it safe for the fish.
All right, well, it's been a couple days now. I guess let me just go get the fish. You know, I gotta go to PetSmart again. I'll be there soon.
So I went and purchased the fish and got 4 of these mollies.
Okay, the fish have been acclimating in the water for a little bit now. And to put them in the water, I'm gonna do a super cool transition. So basically when I clap my hands, they'll be in the water. 3, 2, 1. Boom! Look at that. That's a super clean transition. But anyways, the fish are in the, you know, the lake. So I got 4 fish, 3 different species of mollies. And, you know, they look pretty cool. We got like a zebra-looking one, some goldfish-looking ones, and then there's a black one. You know, these are pretty cool. And look at this. This guy's eating the sand right now. You see that? What the heck? I didn't even know they did that. Okay, wait, I'm not even gonna lie, these are actually super cool.
And to make it even more diverse, I also got some narite snails, which will help clean algae and stuff. So yeah, that's pretty helpful.
But if I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of getting bored of just these normal fish. So you know what time it is. It is time to add in the walking fish, the reason why we're all watching this video.
So, let's just get to the good part.
Alright, I just got a notification on my phone. It says it's here. So you already know what time it is. It is mudskipper o'clock. Let me just get this package. Oh yeah, check it out. This is the walking fish inside of this box. So let me open this thing up. Get out of here.
I'm just kidding. There's nothing actually in this box. The walking fish has actually been acclimating in the water for a while, so I can already add him into his new home. Right after adding him in, the little fish started to swim all around his new water area. He even started to play around with some of the other fish. But of course, this isn't just a normal fish, it is a walking fish. And this little guy clearly knew how to do that very well.
Oh my god, this guy is just walking around on land. This is so cool.
Mudskippers are able to defy the law of fish because they have not only the ability to breathe through their gills like all fish, but also through their skin while it's still wet. So in fact, mudskippers will actually spend more time out of the water than in the water. So I don't really know if they can even really be considered a fish at that point, but I mean, it still looks like one. But the best part of this video is coming up now, where I'll be feeding the mudskipper all types of food, including live insects, to see which he likes the most. Then I'll build him a parkour course, and if he can successfully complete it, I'll give him unlimited of whatever his favorite food is. But of course, this little guy's first gonna need a name. So after searching through thousands of options, I came across the perfect name. This walking fish will be called Franklin, because I just feel like he looks like a Franklin. Anyways, let's feed Franklin some food to see which he likes best out of these. First up on the list, we got houseflies. Now I have 200 of them in this little container, but I only want to feed him a couple of these, so I'm gonna have to be careful that hundreds of these don't escape around my room. So I'm just gonna try my best to empty a few into here next to Franklin. And oh dang, he is going crazy. About 3 flies had dropped in, and Franklin had instantly sucked up 2 of them. But one of the flies had managed to escape onto a little leaf. But of course, I wasn't gonna let him get away, so I scooped him up and brought him over to Franklin. I will be honest though, his hunting skills did need some work, as it took him a couple tries just to eat this tiny little fly, but eventually he got it down. Clearly Franklin loves houseflies, but I wonder if he'll go for some bigger insects. So next up, I got some mealworms and got straight to dropping them in front of Franklin. This time he was under the water, but that didn't stop him, as he tried to eat the worms right away. Although there is a reason why I said he tried to eat the worms, because he failed so many times at trying to eat it. And eventually another fish just tried to take it from him, so he just swam away. But a little later, while Franklin was chilling on the land area, I dropped another worm right in front of him, and this time he leaped onto it and absolutely devoured it.
Wait, is he going under the water with it? Wait, I think he just swallowed it whole. Dang.
While it's clear that Franklin likes mealworms, it is a little bit hard for him to hunt them, but there's still the final insect to feed him, which are crickets. And these are almost as big as Franklin's, so I don't really know if he's even gonna try and eat them, but I dropped them in anyways. The crickets started to slowly move around in the water, and Franklin definitely noticed. Franklin got into position and waited for the perfect moment to strike. And as soon as the cricket moved again, okay. Well, it turns out the cricket scared Franklin away and he just hid under the water. Bruh. Well, now I know Franklin loves flies, sorta likes worms, and is just straight up scared of crickets. Well, now it's time for the best part of the video, where I'll be building Franklin a parkour course to test how good he is at jumping. Now, you might be wondering how I'm actually gonna create this, and well, to be honest, I don't know. Actually, I do not have a plan at all. But I guess I'll just start with something I already have, which is this plastic stuff. And I'll quickly just create some little pillars that the fish will have to jump to. Now we just gotta put these into place in the floor, and boom. Here's the game plan. There's 3 of these pillars that the walking fish will have to go from jump to jump. And if he gets to the final pillar, I'll give him unlimited houseflies to eat, since that's his favorite food. Alright, well the course is built, so I guess I'll just wait and see if he'll complete it.
2 hours later.
So Franklin never even tried to complete it on his own. I don't really know what I was expecting. So instead, I got some tweezers and mealworms to try and bring him towards the course. But it seemed like Franklin was scared of the tweezers, so I just had to keep repeatedly dropping the food in the direction I wanted him to go in. And once he tried to eat it, I picked it up and repeated the process. It eventually worked to get Franklin over to the start of the parkour course, but this is the hard part, because now he actually has to jump from platform to platform. So I tried the same strategy of dropping mealworms, but it was taking forever. So I had to make it a little easier for him by putting some mud leading up to it. So now it's not really a parkour course, it's more just like a walk course. But after doing that and switching over the flies, Franklin started to make a little more progress. But this is where it got hard for Franklin, because while he could make it up to the first platform multiple times, he just wasn't going to the second platform at all. And he definitely wasn't gonna go to the third platform. So I just removed that and decided if he made it to the second, then he would win the unlimited flies prize. So I continued trying to bring him there for literally 2 hours, but Franklin just kept abandoning mission on the first platform over and over.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
So to be honest, I just gave up and scooped Franklin up onto it because I still wanted to give him unlimited flies.
Yay, Franklin, you totally just did that by yourself. Now you get unlimited flies. Here you go, boy. Eat up. Eat up. Oh my god, there's so many flies. No, they're getting away. They're flying around my room.
And of course, Franklin really enjoyed those flies. If you want to see more videos about Franklin in the future, make sure you subscribe so YouTube will recommend you that video once it comes out. Seriously, go down and subscribe right now, please. I hope you enjoyed seeing how cool this walking fish is, and if you have any ideas about what kind of videos I should make for him, comment them.